What's going on? Welcome to Highway Linux. I am your guest, Mr. Rourke. Welcome to Fantasy Island. With my co-host, D. What was it? Would you be D Tattoo? That tattoo?
The blame, the blame.
Would you be D Tattoo? Shout out to those that are new. Essence is cool. I see you there. D. Thank you for the membership. Gifted one woman in Linux membership. Appreciate you.
Thank you, D. We appreciate it.
All right. Essence is cool. You said, I'm here, I'm new here. Are there any rules I should know about? Yeah. Rules are any self-doubt, uh leave it on the table. Um Also aim for 200,000. What's another one?
The
Uh
rules here, the rules here in the space.
Enjoy the
You are
conversation.
kind, you are smart, you are important. Treat others the same way. But we are not for the shenanigery here at Women in Linux. We do not
I'm for the
shenan.
shenanigans.
We petty. This is petty D, and that is petty T. We get a little petty, but it's all in good fun here. Just a respectful place. But they don't play.
Bobby Axelrod, the best way I can tell you, like really to go in the deep dive, is to come to the meetup every Wednesday. You can find us on meetup.com/women in Linux.
Bobby Axelrod, I should be asking you. I was just watching Billions.
Yeah.
It's a good episode.
So you can come to the meetup every Wednesday from 8 to 10. You can find that link on meetup.com/women in Linux. It gives you everything that you need to know for events that we may do or may not do or get canceled or what have you. It's already there. Cool. You log into your Linux boxes, Jerome. I see you. But I mean, you say get started. I'm gonna tell you go to the Red Hat 024 class and start there, and then work your way up from the 124 to the from the 024 to the 124. That would be the best yet. But I do a deeper dive on Wednesdays that I don't do here on YouTube. And usually what I do is I will record. I haven't recorded in a while, and then we post them. Uh, we have some good information in there in those meetings. From I've given away uh, classes, given away you name it, laptops. I mean, I've done a lot. I've done a lot there.
Hey, Sasha, it's good to see you. It's been a while.
That's because Sasha is out here giving talks and not saying nothing. That's why.
Oh, she out here shining
And
in
then
private.
they don't want to say nothing. You know how she do.
Mm.
You
Tam
know,
is gonna find out and bust you out.
she told me. She just told me. She just told me. Don't want to tell nobody. Don't want to share no shine. It's all good.
We don't do fear. You
That's
gonna
what
have
I said.
you don't do fear. You got to do it and own it. It has been a long time, but we know you working. We know you.
Jerome, good job on your RD break. You should do a recording of it. Just just to have it and share it with somebody or whatever. Post it in the group, whatever. All right. So last week we did a show on SRE, and I kind of went over the. Now I take it back. The platform. We went over platform engineering, and we went over the difference. Well, I kind of sort of did go over the difference, but I'll go back over that again this week. But also um we went over some actual concepts, and I'm pulling back the article that we have for that we were watching with the 6 different pillars to site reliability engineering. I'm gonna talk about that, but first things first. First things first. I want to share this video because well, it's an Instagram post, which makes sense to me. It's something I've been talking about forever, and this is why we do this. You will get in circles, and you've all heard these circles before, where they'll say, "Oh, it's okay to start at the help desk," and there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just gonna give my opinion on it. Um, I think in some cases, I think the help desk puts us in a 3 to 5 year minimum mindset, meaning you spend the first year trying to figure it out, you spend the second year trying to see what you need to do, and the third year you try to get out. But what happens in that time span, in those 3 to 5 years, the people who are making the 100,000, the 150, the 250, whatever, their income growth is exponential. Because the mindset is aggressive. The teams they are working on are aggressive. The products that they're using are they're solving bigger problems. These are just my thoughts, just as someone who has worked help desk. I think a 3 to 5 year stint happens in that 3 to 5 years. I think if you look at it, and I had this conversation this weekend, I think you lose on a minimum. At a minimum, you lose $20,000 to $40,000 a year. That's my thought process. That's just my thought process. I think if you think minimum, you're gonna get minimum, and people are gonna treat you as minimum. But if you have that aggressive thought process, you understand what you need to do. You understand where you shine at, and this is why I did a show on, and I talked about this in my meetup. I talked about this on Erica Williams show. Is creating your skills matrix. If you all can't, if you can't critique yourself and understand what skills you have, and understand what each one of those skills can bring. Like, for example, if you know you have skills in cloud security, you know you have skills in DevSecOps or site reliability engineering and programming, you should be able to rate those skills. And you should give some type of monetary value to those skills. But not only just a monetary value to those skills, you should be able to rank them 1 through 5, and then whatever you're weak at, set up a plan to be stronger in. And I'm not saying you got to bring it up to a 5, but you can. But if you know it's at a 1, bring it up to a 3. Set up a plan, a target plan on what are you going to do to bring that up to a 3. I'm not saying lose the other ones, because the ones that are 5 can improve too, right? But again, it's about how your project. How what does that trajectory look like for you? Well, again, I like to be a Swiss Army knife. A lot of people like to say, "Oh no, you need to be focused." I think my focus is DevSecOps, but under DevSecOps is so many things. Under
Like
site
a lot of
reliability,
trades
yeah,
within that realm.
yeah, it's a lot of trades. Like people say, I'm going to get my master's in cybersecurity. I have no idea what that means.
Right. Like it's so many little niches that you can do within that. But even with your skill set matrix, also asking colleagues like what they see, asking them about you and your skills and what you bring to the table. When I was changing teams, I talked to a team member and he was talking to me, and I had no idea that what he thought about me and what I brought to the team. And it was amazing to hear how he watched me work and how I approach clients and what he had to say about my skill sets. And sometimes some things you don't even think you have, but others are watching,
Mm,
and to get input from those around you, constructive criticism, because sometimes, we sometimes we can be modest on ourselves. We don't know what we don't think we know what we're bringing, and what we don't mention It's probably something that comes to us so easily, so innately, that we don't think it's a skill because it's easy for us. We only think the hard things that we have to study for. We don't think about the soft skills that we bring to the table as well. Those kind of get pushed under the rug.
Right. And another thing too is how your communication skills, how you write emails, those are also skills to write down too. Not just the technical ones. How you interact with people. Like, do you not like talking on the phone? Do you like? And it's gonna, and that skill matrix is also gonna help shape the type of job that you want to have, especially when you start talking to recruiters. You're like, well, I really don't want to do that. I want to do this. I want to do that. Here's where I'm really the strongest at. Here's where I see myself thriving, so forth and so on. Because it's nothing like getting in a job and you can't thrive, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
you
that's
get in a
that's the
place and
one
you're like,
thing.
this is not what I want to do. And then it also helps how you organize your day, how you interact with the client, users. All of that means something. Especially how you organize your day, what you do in the morning. Do you block out time? Are you like really intentional about what your day looks like, and what people can add and not add to your calendar? Do you ask questions? Like I know I like solving problems. I know I like getting in the weeds, but I I don't like I like working from home and I'm great with clients, but I don't want them to look at me all day. I want to be able to tell them what they need to know, touch base with them and go about my business. I don't want to have to handhold them all day, but when I do, I make sure that time that I spend with them is is efficient, to say the least.
Mhm.
It's efficient. They get what they need. I like for me, I set expectations. I know I like for me to contact them before they contact me. Like if they have to look for me, then I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. So how you organize your day, how you go about, how you interact with the client, interact with your colleagues, how you show up in meetings, like this means a lot. This means a lot. My PMO had to tell me one time that the somebody that was on my team that was a lead didn't know who I was. One time. That's all you had to. Oh, they don't. Okay, they're about to find out.
Right. So Essence is cool. You asked, is software engineering still a good job to pursue? It is, but you need to be specific about it. So, um, how can I break this down? So there are, to me, this is just my thought process, and you can go do your own research. To me, I think the top three right now, I mean, Java, C++, and C are still around, right? Those are never going anywhere. Those are staples, just like COBOL. Those are staples. However, your Rust, Go, and Python are still out there, and people are still you are out there, and people are using them. Like Rust is going into the Linux kernel. People are still using Python and Rust, and even Go. So now you think about Go for distributed systems. What does that mean? That's stuff you have to look up. What is a distributed system? How do I create APIs? How do I use Rust to create an API? How do I use Python to create an API? How do I speed up the process of this API? Those things you're gonna start getting into. The best thing I could tell you right now is roadmap.sh. If you go there, I have it on the screen now. If you go to roadmap.sh, there's software engineer, and this is the thing. There's, and I think a lot of people get this confused too. Like there's architect, and then there's software engineering. Well, I'm sharing the wrong screen. Let's see.
Yeah, and I don't want to click on it because it's gonna give us the infinity screen.
Mm, Let me go back. Share the right screen. Mm-mm-mm. All right. It's the black background. I can't do nothing with that. All right, but you can see on here you have software architect, right? And these are role based, and then you got front end. Then you got down here, and I think people also get this tossed around. There's computer science, and then there's computer engineering, and then you also see down here design and architecture, and then design systems, right? So to me, your easiest thing is probably gonna is to understand the basics, the basic principles of software engineering, understanding data structures. And when I'm talking about data structures, I'm talking about stacks, heaps, those type of data structures, right? Linked list, dictionaries, understanding that, right? And then when you when you get that down, then you'll probably start understanding algorithms, right? What's going to be the best algorithm to use, and why and how. And then inside of all of that, you can look at Python, you can look at Go, you can look at Rust and say, well, okay, well, how do they utilize and do these things? How do they use these different data structures? How do they do algorithms? Because that's where that's going to come into that. Once you understand the foundational part of it, now understanding how Python uses it, how C++ does it, or C, or embedded C, or Go, you'll have this foundation over here, so then you could be able to program in any language. But once you learn one and understand how the documentation is written for the other one, you'll pick up the other one. That's my thought process from working with it. But again, you can go over here. I would advise you to look at software architect on this list. I will also look at this Go roadmap, design and architecture and design systems. Why? Because even though there are databases out there, the databases are written in code. So understanding how to write a database in code, how to write what do you think S3 is? Do you think S3 bucket is just a literally a bucket out there? There's code behind it to make it function the way it does. And that's what I'm saying. All right. So when it comes down to like different, and another thing too that you all don't do is go look up the difference between computer science, computer engineer, and software computer engineer. What is the difference between the three? Because I'm going to give you this. I could be a DevOps person, but the title could be DevOps software engineer. Why? Because part of it is doing DevSecOps, and the other part is actually designing and writing code. And so a lot of times you see people put those together. Now a lot of people are like, well, them two different jobs. Well, yes and no. Now it's to the point where you can use Terraform with Python with the CDK. You could be coding and creating modules in Go for Terraform. So you may be a developer, you may be a software engineer, you may be an infrastructure person, you may be all these things. And I'm just telling you this because you're gonna go down this rabbit hole. And I just want you to know that these things exist as you go down that rabbit hole. All right. So I'm gonna click on this design system and then design architecture. Um, Let me see. So design system in here. This looks more like if I'm a UI UX person from me just looking at it, because this look like patterns, guidelines, UI kit, right? But remember, I also, those that don't know, I also went over the book Design Thinking, right? Where in design thinking, let me pull this up. Let me go here. Well, in design thinking, let's go to O'Reilly. And I keep stressing this for a couple of reasons. One is to get you out of the mindset of taking a long time to start and finish things, being able to analyze a problem, get the requirements, and then get back and then come up with an MVP. So that's where that comes into play. So let me do this design thinking right here. All right. So in this book, I'm just gonna go over the table of contents real quick, right? Um, all right, design thinking basics, understanding broadly, thinking differently, delivering value, iterating for progress, right? So design thinking basics. Let's go in here. So design thinking basics, right? In the first hour, design thinking explain. In the second hour, design thinking model for tech, design thinking for a small audience, resilient and sustainable teams, and visible and visual teamwork. So, as a software engineer, you may have some requirements that may be given to you, and then you have to create based on those set of requirements, but you may have more questions, right? You may be working with a broader team. It's the same thing. It's the same concept that you do in DevSecOps. It's the same concepts for site reliability engineer. You have the same concepts, right? So here, thinking slower to deliver faster, a process for progress. I design thinking model for tech. So let me click on that, right? And here's their model that they follow. I was gonna do this as a book read, but let me come back down because it's kind of small. Okay, understanding broadly, empathize, then here thinking differently, defined and ideate, and then delivering value, and then iterating for progress. Again, they notice the feedback loop. Notice the fact that everything is not necessarily dependent on each other, but it's the speed in which we're moving at. And so, you as a software engineer, you as a AWS cloud engineer, cyber engineer, design thinking is going to touch all these things. How do I deliver the maximum value, or I should say the MVP for what we need to get out for this customer? What are the important things that they need, right, in order to get there? Drop a one in the chat if all of this makes sense to you all. Um, and I think said I work as a PM and hate it. Is there an IT career? You work as an investigator. Yeah. I'm surprised you didn't. When you say PM, is that a project manager or a product manager? Down to earth. I'm not sure. Cool. She coming out of college with computer science. Yep. Good. Casual accountants. We started a book a couple of weeks ago. Yep. So, uh, what am I saying? Telling you all of this? I'm telling you all of this because this is just something that you're gonna have this thought process throughout your career. Um, the win, ambiguity, complexity, and uncertainty. The better practices and faster outcomes. That's important right there. And here, design thinking in action, real world tech examples. So here they got some examples that they came up with in here. I spent some time on this book in our class. We actually did an MVP. The goal there was to get you to start thinking about what it is that you would ask a customer, what it is that if you was a salesperson or a sales engineer, or you had to create it as an infrastructure engineer, or you had to secure it as the security person. What are these things that you can do, right? What are these things you can do? Can we password share on O'Reilly? I don't know about that. I'm yeah, I don't know about that. Minimal viable product or project.
Check out your library. If you get a library card, certain cities you get a free O'Reilly subscription with your library membership.
Yep. So I thought it was a good book. We started it. We didn't finish it the way I want to, but we got at least through some basic parts of it. And I broke down even on lucid charts. I even broke down design thinking there on how to design. Like, how do you take this idea that's in words, now design a diagram of it? Now, how to implement that diagram, right? So that's where we came in with that, right? And then the goal is to get a product done in 24 hours so that the customer can start using it, and then you can go back and iterate over that in which the customer has, right? At least you got something in front of the customer, they their likes and they wants. You can iterate over that, the things that they must have. You should probably have that already, like the top three things they gotta have, and then after that you can continue to iterate over that, and it'll change over time, but at least again you got 24 hours to get it out there. So that's my thoughts on that right there. That's my thoughts. I want to pull this out right here. And I want to go back to design and architecture. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on it. I just want to show you here clean code principles. Software engineers, DevSecOps engineers need to know what clean code principles are. What is the difference between structured, functional, and object oriented programming? Software engineers, DevSecOps engineers, SREs. Those are things you're gonna know. You're doing, but those are things you need to know. Um, Here they got design principles and design patterns. There's a ton of books out there on that. There's a ton of books out there on that. Here they go into object oriented programming, design principles and patterns. And this is going to start getting into like design principles and patterns in Go, design principles and patterns in C. You'll start getting into specifics into each one of those. Peer-to-peer, client server. What are microservices, microkernels, serverless architecture? You're gonna start getting into this as well too. So I like here they have software architect and DevOps and back end. What you see up here are some of these things get followed as well. If you take any type of programming class, you're gonna look at encapsulation, abstraction, polymorphism, inheritance, interface, abstract classes. This right here, you just gonna that's just part of your curriculum. It's just part of your curriculum, right? But then here, if we go into, let me back up, design. Let's go into Go roadmap. So in here, you'll see understanding for loops, if else switch statements. As you can see over here, we got interfaces. Then they go into understanding building how to use Go to build out a CLI. So that may be something like an API, the different web frameworks, tools for microservices, testing your apps. You build the app, you can build the back end and Go. It's just so many different things that you could do with Go. Same thing with Rust. And again, the same thing with C++ and C. You may know multiple tools, but which one is the best tool for the cause, right? You may have a bunch of keys, but none of the keys can get you in the building.
Literally.
All right. I'm looking for digital forensics. Well, there's Linux forensics, digital forensics. There's auditing. That leans towards cybersecurity. If you're looking at that down to earth, when you're looking at from that project manager, try. I don't know. Product owners, product managers seem to be going pretty good these days. All right. So pay wise is what I mean. All right, so let's get into this. I don't
It's
know.
24,000.
Let me see. Let's restart this.
For black households in this country, it's 24,000.
Can you hear that, D?
Think about
Yes.
all the black people stacked up. Where's the midpoint? 24,000 versus 189,000 for our white counterparts.
I'm gonna let it start over.
When it becomes to averages, that becomes real money. Average net worth of a black household is 142,000. Of our white cohorts, 980,000. And so when you start to go back to purpose, what's the ability with those assets to be able to start to think about passing on generational wealth that it doesn't stop with you is pretty significant. And I share that number to not get defeated by it, but get inspired and driven.
All right. Do I need to play it again? All right, I'll play it one more time.
The median income for black households in this country is 24,000. Think about all the black people stacked up. Where's the midpoint? 24,000 versus 189,000 for our white counterparts. When it becomes to averages, that becomes real money. Average net worth of a black household is 142,000. Of our white cohorts, 980,000. And so when you start to go back to purpose, what's the ability with those assets to be able to start to think about passing on generational wealth that it doesn't stop with you is pretty significant. And I share that number to not get defeated by it, but get inspired and driven.
All right. So why did I mention that? This goes back to my whole thought process around the help desk, which I'm not knocking. I started at the help desk. I just think that we should aim higher. That's just my thought process. And people are like, "Oh, why should we aim higher?" And the question is like, why shouldn't
Why
we
not?
aim
Yeah, it's the same amount of energy.
like people listen, I be in rooms and I talk to people and they were like, there's nothing wrong with someone starting at the help desk to get in tech and they'll make the 40 or 50. I'm like, okay, but if I could show them they can make 80 to 100, why not do that? And the pushback is always nobody's gonna hire you at 80 to 100. Well, when I talk to uh our other counterparts who are 22, 23, 24, they were like, oh yeah, I wouldn't take a job if it was paying me 40 to 50,000. That doesn't make any sense. It's immediately, it doesn't make sense. I don't know why it's pushed to us like it makes sense, but immediately they're like, oh no, I wouldn't even do it. Right. It didn't even cross their mind. And so I say that to say, stop letting it cross your mind. Get the skills that you know is going to get you there. Right. So I talked about this before and I'm going to say it again. Your skill sets are intangible assets that pay off later. Your skill sets are intangible assets that pay off later. In other words, if you go look up the definition of what intangible assets is, let me pull that up. Um, Let me get there. Intangible assets. What are intangible assets? All right. Let me pull this back down, get this out of the way. Boom, boom, boom. All right. An intangible asset is one that is not physical in nature. Since intangible assets have no shape or form, they cannot be held or manipulated. Common types of intangible assets include your brand, goodwill, and your intellectual property. Right. So when I look at your brand, I look at your skill sets help you build your brand, and I also look at skill sets. And this is something I said before For those that don't know how to network, your skill sets help you network and get in other rooms. That's what your skill sets do, right? It also says business have several ways to value these assets, which can be challenging because they have no shape or form. They are in contrast tangible assets which have physical forms and can be held, right? So again, intangible assets, some key takeaways. Businesses can create or acquire intangible assets. Intellectual property. Well, how do you get to intellectual property? Maybe you wrote some code that created an algorithm that then got somebody back 2.5 million, and you get 10% on a P&L. That's your intellectual property. You may have designed an algorithm or designed a product or what have you, right? Again, still your skills, but now they're intangible assets, right? Um, an intangible asset can be considered indefinite, a brand name, for example, or definite, like a legal agreement or contract. Intangible assets created by a company do not appear on a balance sheet and have no recorded book value, right? No recorded book value. D, can you mute? You typing. Thank you. Understanding intangible assets. As a note above, an intangible asset is one that has no physical form, as such it cannot be held. These assets are generally considered long term, whose value increase over time. All right, this is the most important part right here. What you learn today doesn't mean that it doesn't pay off immediately, meaning it could pay off over time. It can pay off over time. So just because you learn programming today and you went out and applied for a job and you got a job working with Cisco networking, that doesn't mean that your programming skills are not going to pay off in Cisco networking. That just means you have some programming skills, and when it's time to utilize them, you can utilize them. And you all have to understand that sometimes what you have right now may not pay off right now, but it may pay off later, depending on the job that you're trying to get, depending on the type of work you're trying to do. So don't be afraid to gain skills and then think those skills are gonna like lay dormant. What doesn't lay dormant is logic, right? Under problem solving does not lay dormant. So you may have a set of skills where you understand networking, where you understand design thinking, where you understand project management, where you understand forensics. But I guarantee you, your project management skills is going to pay off in forensics. I guarantee your forensic skills is going to pay off in a company that needs to do security or someone that gets hacked. You just never know when you got to whip out the old toolbox and get going. That's what that looks like. So your skill sets are intangible assets that can pay off later. All right. D, want to add anything to that? Okay.
Moving on.
Go
Great
ahead.
job.
Hold on. You came in stereo.
I came in stereo.
Yeah, I had to cut you down. All right. So why did we get together tonight? Well, there's a couple of things. So at the conference was a lot of conversation. And I've brought this up before where the Department of Energy has, and I think we should say this for binary hustlers. We could do a binary hustlers. D, somebody
I,
asked
I knew it. I knew it. I knew my name
about
was coming
binary
up.
hustlers. Y'all get on D, send D an email, tweet, whatever it is. Like D, when are we gonna get a binary hustler? It's all her fault. It's all D, except blame. All
I'm
right.
not. I'm not.
Sasha, you
I
said
won't. I won't accept the blame for that. I won't.
Yeah, we know. So denial is the river that you stay on.
You are swimming. You are backstroking in denial.
No, you made a left on
Backstroking on a
you made a
flamingo
left.
floaty, sipping a margarita or
That's you.
mojito rather.
That's you.
You
It
doing too
says
much?
when I hear somebody say we can't or won't do, let us go to this or that level, I immediately tune them out because you tell them in my mind what they saying don't apply to me and mine. Correct.
It's like a foreign language.
Yeah.
So that's one of the rules. I get somebody asked who asked what were the rules here. That's one of the rules. Like that mindset right there is so defeatist. Like that is a negative. I don't even want to. I don't even want to really talk about it. But it is. It does so much negativity to your psyche and who are you becoming. It's just like it's so deep to me because it's just like why not? Why don't you feel deep down that you deserve this money? And for somebody to say they not gonna give us this, what do you mean? This is what I this is what I want. This is what I'm worth. This is what I'm walking into the doors with. This is what my skills matrix says I am and that I'm offering. I am the solution to these problems. And so in this respect, I'm sorry, but as Sasha said, this does not apply to me and mine.
Yep. So the Department of Energy, and I'll talk about more about this on the government contracting conference that I went to this weekend or last week, and I'll talk more about the Department of Energy having $100 billion to spend by 2026 and what they're looking for and so forth with other. And I this is why I have that Fed scoop going into the actual channel in general, so you can see where money is going. Not only you can see where money is going, it's where your money is going as a taxpayer. It's where your money is going as a taxpayer, and what does that look like? So, with that being said, I'm just gonna give a small glimpse into this, right? Just a small glimpse, right? Because this is just another form, another avenue for us to be in, right? So in 2019, the National Renewable Laboratory published a report, the wind energy workforce in the United States, training, hiring, and future needs, to provide a national assessment of the wind industry workforce and hiring needs to uncover educational pathways that will help close the gap. So now we're talking about working with wind energy, right? Not something people talk about. I am trying to get you to understand the different ways that you can make money, generate jobs, and so forth, right? It says the gap between the students and the industry highlights the need for increased awareness about wind energy occupation and the future analysis on training opportunities that are needed to fill the rising demands for new workers to support the industry. So down here they go into collegiate wind competition, offshore wind assessment, workforce assessment, on-demand wind training, a training course called Selecting, Implementing, and Funding Distributed Wind Systems in Federal Facilities. Is available through a whole building design guide, continual education, and it's a web page, and I'll go to that in a minute. They also have a wind career map. And they have this laid out. I'll drop this link. Why am I mentioning this? Because again, some things we need to be into. If there's a need and somebody's putting money into it, get into it. Get your education for free. All right, so let's go back up here. Let's go here. And then let's go to the career map. And then let's go to the program map here. All right, so here, load up. Continuing education um, looks like, let me look, course catalog. This is from Whole Building Design Guide. This course, the courses feature offer a introduction to whole building design concepts as well as more specific applications for design objectives, building types, operations and management, distant education, and so forth. Right. So they have that. But let's go over here to the WIM career map. So they got degree careers and vocational careers, degree careers, and then vocational careers. And they have from entry level to mid to advanced. And they have it broken down into different areas, education, training, and research, right? Some people may need education, training, and research, right? You may be a trainer. For those that want to be a trainer, this could be an option for you. Let me go back to this one. I know that on it. This one. All right. When education and training programs. Here are the locations that they have them in. You can see the dots on the screen. I'll zoom in a little bit. But you can see Georgia, North Georgia. That's actually South Carolina. They have that there. Florida, Texas, California, really up here in the Midwest states, North. Here we have Kansas, Nebraska, and then Montana and Washington State, right? So really anywhere, but what I don't see, Arkansas, Mississippi, Alabama, Louisiana. I don't see nothing with wind.
No dots.
No dots down there. But I'm just giving you a visual of where things are located, especially with the fact that you got to keep in mind renewable energy, chips, all that is part of this. And it was talked about this afternoon, this new industrial revolution that we're going through, like bringing chip manufacture back into the states. You don't you got to know that wind turbine need chips in order to do their thing. Cars need chips. Bikes, e-bikes need chips. Your phone need chips. It's chips everywhere. Knowing how to program them, knowing how to get the most bang for your buck out of them is something important. So, I just wanted to put that out there when we talk about this $100 billion that has to be spent with workforce development and worker retraining. That is super huge. Like I said, I'll talk more about it on Binary Hustlers or what I got out from the conference, what the key takeaways were there, and as well as who did I get a chance to meet and what my how my talk went. I actually because we do uh lame jokes at work. I'm gonna give you a lame joke. You ain't gotta put it on the screen, D. I'm just gonna give
Trust me, I'm not.
a lame joke.
They lame, lame, lame joke.
They're lame jokes.
They're lame. Cornet crunch jokes.
Hey, but it's not corner crunch. I didn't write them.
I know, but you repeat them. You about to tell
That's
it
okay. I'm getting ready to do it now.
because you're cornet. It's okay. Still love.
Anyway, how do you turn soup into gold at 24 carats?
But she is tickled. Is this what you and Petty Guy do?
This is we had time between them setting up and people were in the room and I was like, hey, I'm gonna give some corny jokes. And that's what I did.
I was gonna tell him this is low T.
All right, here's a good one. Why did the bicycle fall over? Because it was too tired. Last one. Last one. What kind of music do mommies listen to?
What kind of music do mommies listen to, Tamika?
Rap music. They
Go
rap.
ahead and
They
give
get
us
rap.
one more. Go
What?
and give us one more.
Okay, okay, one more. One more. Back by popular demand. Hold on. Let me find a good one. Okay. When does it rain money? When there's a change in weather.
This is my friend, you guys. This is what I have to deal with. So easily entertained. Doesn't take much.
Oh, I know it's but again, this is what I did was to be the icebreaker. Boom, boom, boom. Doo-doo. See, you even laugh. Just corny joke.
I'm laughing at you because you be so tickled with the change in the weather.
Ta-da.
Did
Hey, don't take away black girl
it?
joy.
Down there said, won't, 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 won't.
Don't take away black girl joy.
Craziness.
All
That's her
right.
joy. That is her joy. Her jokes.
That wasn't my joke. I was just reading it out
I
loud.
know, but you and Kai, he has
We
one.
wouldn't we didn't even tell these jokes. He wasn't even a part of that. Heather, somebody block Heather. Where somebody put Heather in the timeout.
Did she throw tomatoes at you?
Somebody put Heather in the timeout.
Don't put Heather on the timeout.
Somebody put Heather in the timeout. I need to make somebody a moderator.
Heather, I'm not gonna put you on the timeout.
I need you, Sasha. I need to make you a moderator. We don't have enough moderators up in here.
No,
Yeah, Sasha
everybody's not gonna agree with you, Tamika.
need to go into. You ain't gotta agree with me. You sure enough don't.
We giggled at your jokes, the jokes you retold. We know, but did you enjoy the conference overall? I mean, I know I got updates and stuff about the conference. It sounded pretty live. I hate I missed it. I would have loved to go ride down there with you.
Yeah, I talk about what my other thoughts were offline in case someone's watching. But yep, I enjoyed the conference.
That's great.
I'm surprised Yvette not here tonight. She would tell you more about it too.
Let me tell you, after we get off of here, I'm going to go make me some tea and some honey because Dallas. Heather, who was in Dallas? Heather, do you have people in Dallas? Was that you? Big D, Triple D, the dirty, dirty D.
Hmm. So let's get busy. All right. So the last time we talked, we did this. The new stack was running an article, the 6 pillars of platform engineering. So now the first one was security. The second one is CI/CD and VCS pipeline. Right. So CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery, or CD could be continuous deployment. VCS meaning your basically your repo, your GitHub, your GitLabs, your Travis CIs, your Jenkins, and so forth. Right? Bitbucket is another one. All right, platform team workflows and checklists for building CI/CD pipelines and VCS, CI/CD and VCS pipelines into their platform. All right. So again, this guy outlines the workflows and steps for 6 primary technical areas of developer experience in the platform engineer. Remember, platform engineers, Develop a platform for internal customers, which sometimes can be also external customers, but really it's to help developers. So you develop tools. So this is where platform engineering, where you could be a software engineer and a platform engineer at the same time, because you got software engineering skills to help build out this platform, right? All right, so here we go. This is published in 6 parts. You can download a complete set of guidelines, guidance, outlines, and checklists as a full PDF version. So the first one was security. The second one is pipeline, VCS, and CI/CD. All right. So pipeline. One of the first steps in a platform team's journey is integrating with and potentially restructuring software delivery pipeline. Again, how often do we want to get this code deployed to production? What kind of unit testing are we doing? What do you have set up in your pipelines and so forth? Right? It said that means taking a detailed look at your organization version control system, VCS, and continuous integration and continuous deployment pipelines. Many organizations have multiple VCS. So, really, what organizations really want to move to is a consistent tech stack. So, in your interviews, you should be asking, what is the tech stack? And you should be able to read that in the job description. That should give you the set of tools that they have. And then how do all those tools integrate with each other? You should be able to understand that and know that off the rip, right? It says here, um, these platforms also evolve over time so that component based API platform or catalog model is recommended. So when they say API based platform, think AWS, think Azure, GCP, Digital Ocean. Now, when they talk about catalog model, I immediately think of Rancher, where you can go to the catalog and say install this product, and then it just goes off and install it for you. It says this is recommended to support further extensibility without compromising functionality or demanding regular refactoring, meaning I don't have to go back in and refactor something to get it deployed. In a cloud native model, infrastructure and configuration are managed as code, and therefore VCS is required for the core function. The VCS, the version control system, is something you're gonna need to know as a programmer, something you're gonna need to know as someone who's working in cybersecurity, DevSecOps, site reliability engineer, product manager, product project manager. You're just gonna need to know this. These are things, these terms you should know. You should have a definition of terms. I think CNCF has a definition of terms. All right, consistency, standardization. This is what you get out of the benefits. Consistency, standardization, agility, speed, scalability, flexibility, configuration as documentation, reusability and sharing, disaster recovery and reproducibility, the debuggability and auditability, compliance and security. Meaning, I can go to your repo and I can say what you have deployed, what has changed, so forth and so on, and I should be able to diagram that out on what you have out there. And also, what should be noted in this is also cost. That's where the auditability comes into play. Security and auditability comes into play with the cost there. What you have deployed, how much it costs us, because if we were overrunning our budget, we could cripple the company, right? VCS and CI/CD enable interaction and workflows across infrastructure systems and platform, which requires careful assessment of all VCS and CI/CD requirements listed below. Workflow. So let's get into it. Code, validate, response, output, operate. Code. The developer commits code to the VCS and a task is automatically submitted to a pipeline. Validate. The CI/CD platform submits a request to your IDP for validation. Response. If successful, the pipeline triggers a test, a build, or deploy. Output. Output could be artifacts. You could build a Docker container. You could build a VM. You could scan a particular container or some type of VM and get output from it, or some type of Kubernetes cluster, right? And produce a report. Operate. Security systems may be involved in the post-run test, such as deprovisioning access credentials. And so they go on to show here what that could look like. I'll blow it up a little more. It looks perfect, but I'll blow up a little more there. So identify, authenticate secrets management platform. Let's go back here. So you submit your code is number one, right? You submit code to a version control system. Triggers a CI/CD pipeline. You validate. You get some information as far as like, yep, you're able to do that because I need to get information, some secrets to deploy to AWS. I come back with a response, cool. Then I work on my output right here, where the objects and the tools and the workflow, and then operate. And then once I get done, I remove those credentials because it's only for that stage or only for that time being, right? So that's what that looks like. VCS and CI/CD requirement checklist. A developer experience tailored to your team's need and modern efficiencies, easy onboarding, a gentle learning curve with limited supplementary training needed, complete and accessible documentation, support for a pipeline as code, platform agnostic, being platform agnostic. This is, I talk about this all the time. Embedded expected security controls, role-based access, auditing, support for automated configuration, infrastructure and code, and run books, support for secret management on the platform, whether it's Vault or Managed Vault, encouragement and support for larger partner systems with a broad set of enterprise technology integrations, extended service footprint with runners to delegate and isolate the span control runners, meaning that I have nodes or workers out there that I go out and talk to, and those runners go do their thing on that. And then 24 by 7, 365 SLA, right? Let me see. They talk about hashing in here with waypoint and so forth, but as a platform team select and evolve their VCS and CI/CD, they need to consider what this transformation means for existing legacy provisioning practices, security and compliance. Teams should assume that building new platforms will affect existing practices. And again, going back to design thinking, here's what design thinking, you're going to redo a platform. Here's where design thinking comes into play. Um, the time it takes to rebuild, and also make sure that people have what they need, right? Teams should assume that building new platforms will affect existing practices, and they should work to identify, collaborate, and coordinate change within the business, right? So that's what I wanted to get to you tonight. We're talking about again how design thinking ties in, how your version control system ties in. The first pillar was security. Second pillar is now CI/CD or version control, and then how do we take all this knowledge that we have here and combine and integrate them into one to make a platform? Right. That's it. That's all I had tonight, D.
That's it.
I want to be short, quick, and simple. But I did want to give the stats on the average income.
Mhm.
That's important to me because these skill sets get you past the 24,000.
Yes.
These skill sets get you up to the 180, the 200s, the 250s, and so forth.
And
And you
people,
don't
you need to keep hearing it. You need to keep driving it home. Like, this is what's out here. This is what's in. These are the numbers. These are the facts.
Yep. And like I said, you don't have to believe me. Let's go here and let's change this to DevSecOps. Like I did a range. Like let's go with DevSecOps at 40,000. Let's see if we can even find a job at DevSecOps at 40,000. I'm just curious. Let's see. I can't even find one at 40,000. I can't even find a DevSecOps job at 40,000. It don't even come up for me. Right? We can go on Indeed and look on Indeed, but yeah.
And when you find yourself questioning, like they're not going to pay me that, I want you to really sit back and ask yourself why. Why won't they pay you that?
Let's see, average salary DevSecOps. So in Colorado, automatically 58 on an average. We got annual salary. They got 72. I mean, I can't even find. I'm looking for stuff at 40. Here we go in Florida. You got 47. West Virginia, you got 47. I know for a fact you can get more than that in Florida, but we can prove that too. Let's go here. Let's go Jacksonville. And let's look at DevSecOps. Maybe they got on a DevOps. Nope. I don't know what they got it out of there. Are you gonna do platform? Of course not. Let's go DevOps. I don't want me to sign in. But I see 40 to 42 an hour come popping up. Let's see. 130 to 171 estimated. 62 an hour to 67. I don't know what this is. It's wastewater. That's something else. In Jacksonville. But you're not gonna, on average, you're just not gonna find a DevSecOps person getting paid 40,000. Is my point. So back on that roadmap SH. If you come over here to DevOps and you look at it here, they have it all written out. Remember, I told you Python, Go, Rust. You can add Ruby, but here's where you're gonna get it at, right? You're gonna see that at. Here's personal recommendation in blue, Go, and Python, and that's why I say. Here are the operating systems, Linux, right? Then you get down in here to scripting and editors and web servers and learn to live on the terminal. Like I said before, the different cloud providers, the networking and security protocols, understanding Docker. Here we got cloud formation, Terraform, recommendation Terraform, right? Cloudflare, AWS Lambda. You just need to know these things here. This is just a given. Learn Ansible, like I said before. GitLab, Jenkins, Travis, Circle. There you go. Vault. Um, Understanding distributed tracing. Here's where New Relic and Jaeger come into play. Understanding Zabbix, Prometheus, and Datadog for infrastructure monitoring, secret management with Vault. Everything I've told you. There's no way you're gonna get paid $40,000 with knowing those things. How long does it take you to learn those things? As long as you want it to take you. It could be 6 months, it could be a year, it could be 2 years. You never stop learning, I'll say that. You never stop learning, I'll say that. So again, this right here is a step-by-step guide for DevOps, SRE, or any other operations role in 2023. Have at it. There's your tech. There's your tech stack. There's your tools. Take those take those tech stacks or take those tools and go look and see how much people paying for. Just on GitLab alone, somebody's paying 100,000 if you understand that. If you understand Atlassian products, Jira, Confluence, Bitbucket, just that alone, right? That's a job. Like I don't like if you go to Indeed and we talk, say Jira management, Jira administrator. All right, let's go. Let's change from here. Let's go a wider search, cast our net. All right, Jira administrator can go from so far. I got 46 jobs here, and I don't know why I can't move up and down. But let me back out a little bit. Maybe that's a problem. I don't know. It's not letting me move up and down. Anyway, you see here you got these 46 jobs, and let me go by date. They don't have a price there. Senior Jura Administrator 50 to 52, Project Manager, Technical Support 73 to 124. Jira Administrator at Infosys, Jira Align Analysis Analyst, Jira Administrator from 90 to 100, that's remote. 55 to 60 Monday through Friday for remote in DC. LM, they got a 980, 60 to 120, 65 to 78. Now that's just one skill. That's one skill, right? That's one skill you have. Add on other skills like Scrum Master, like understanding security, and taking basic AWS classes or basic cloud, basic Linux classes, adding skill stacking. Always stack your skills. Remember, every skill you stack on, the more you're gonna get paid. Right? And a lot of people don't like me talking about money because they're like, you're not giving people the honest truth about, the journey that it takes and blah 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 blah. And I'm just like, y'all don't want to talk about money because you're afraid to. So how I look at it, but that's just me, right? Or D, we reached
They're
out
afraid
more.
to talk about money because they don't make that money themselves. So that's why they don't talk about it. And then others that make the money, it's those things where it can be only like one of us here. And you have to go the route that I went in order to get there. And I don't want to share that with
So down to earth, you said you support sales and basically project manage vendors and project managers is boring. Does it stimulate you? Try getting on a DevOps team. That'll that'll
you.
keep you.
Okay, there's so many ways you can go as a project manager on different types of projects. If that's not your project, move somewhere else. Just move to a different company, a different type of team. Definitely do some search and use your Sol Tam and Indeed, what you're putting up. Because we want you to bloom where you're planted. I understand that you want to get into something else that's exciting for you, but also we do need to make money. You do have a skill set, so stack those skills.
So here's another question: Has the Monday show been a better for everyone? Let me know if y'all find that you find the Monday show better for Highway Linux. Um, just getting some feedback. Let us know. You can always leave that in the chat, or you can leave it in the what you call it, um, in the comment section after the video. Let us know what you think.
I
That
can start a
way
poll.
that way we can like I want to bring you as much value as possible, um, for your journey, as well, so you can be on, get steered right. Don't forget, we also do one-on-one consultations, as well as resume review, career assessment. Um, and sometimes you just need to work out what your options are, right? Work out what your options are. Some of us have, uh, this thing where we're trying to make decisions, and then you just don't make any at all, right?
Paralysis of analysis.
Yeah. Nancy, you said Monday works. Well, we used to do two shows on Saturdays. So we would do one show early in the morning, and an hour later we do another show. So we just moved this show to Monday. Um, so that way, people get a break on Saturday, and we have the show on Monday. But Monday was supposed to be programming Mondays. So it moves our programming Mondays out of the actual lineup, which is not a bad thing. I just may have to incorporate that into something else. Maybe do programming Mondays, well, programming with security or programming with infrastructure as code. I don't know.
Ask her when she gonna fit in the binary hustling.
We could do binary hustle on a Sunday or a Saturday night or a Friday night. Maybe Thursday. You tell me. I'm always game. We can go do a binary hustler right now.
You can't even keep your eyes open.
My eyes are open. What are you talking about? You one can't keep your eyes open.
My eyes are open. I took a nap.
Your eyes not open. What's going on, DB Daryl? Long time no see.
We have a whole program, and she has something scheduled for every day of the week. And we have the membership. We got to schedule for the membership this month. Are we combining them, or are you doing
I
one for
know I'm gonna do
each?
separate shows.
Okay, we got to get that on the schedule.
We need to do that for this weekend.
Coming.
It is D. It's always D. It's never me. I could do shows every day. D be like, I need a break.
As long as I have food, I'm great. As long as I got snacks, I'm good.
Yeah, I thought about Terraform Tuesdays. We should do Ashy Wednesdays.
And then it's just like, we got to fit in the one-on-ones.
They're 30 minutes. So I want to give y'all that. Oh, and then see what else. Platform. We'll finish our platform soon. I'll probably do two articles next week. Go over those two more articles next week. And then we'll probably have 2 more weeks of platform, and then we'll do site reliability engineering. What I want to do for site reliability engineering, I want to bring in some engineers from Netflix onto the show, some engineers from Indeed onto the show, for site reliability engineering. Um, and then I'm trying to think of, let's see, platform, site reliability engineering. Oh, and traffic engineers. I need to pull some traffic engineers in. When I talk about traffic, I'm literally talking about, imagine how many hits Google get a day, how many hits does Indeed get a day, LinkedIn, when we're talking about traffic shaping and so forth, right? And let me know if y'all ever heard of a traffic engineer.
We went over it here.
Hmm?
We went over it here.
Um, Especially when it comes to Indeed and so forth and so on. They go by a couple of names. Let's see. Site SREs will be on Wednesdays or Monday. Monday. Monday.
Heather, it might have been in the meetup, but I do remember we had a moment with traffic engineering. If it wasn't here,
Let me see. No, I haven't. I didn't know. Yep, yep, yep. So yeah, I'll try to get those in. Those that'll take us out probably the rest of the year. D, I know D, you want to break. When do you want to stop filming?
don't put me in that. Don't put me in that. Don't put me in that. Don't don't do it. Between you and casual and condiments, straight trying to do that. Don't put me in that.
You know you
When
like
do you want to stop filming, Tamika?
you like to cut off by the
Do a
end
what? Do a
of
what?
November. You like to cut off by
That
October.
hasn't happened in 3 years. That hasn't happened in 3 years. We have not got a winter break in 3 years.
I haven't played with traffic. I don't know, Dion. Do you think that we should pump out videos every day?
Tamika, I think you need to get out the skin.
That's not what I asked you.
I'm at you. I'm telling you what I think you need
No,
to do. Then we
yeah,
can
and you
discuss
shouldn't
that.
say that online too, by the
Oh, okay.
way. So the question is, should
I
we
need you
pump?
back remote.
That's not what I asked you. Should we
We
pump
well,
out videos every day? See, you trying to time it where it's like 6 o'clock East Coast time. I can't do that.
I'm not timing nothing with 6 o'clock. I have not been up 6 o'clock East Coast time. It's 11:29.
Is that bad?
What I'm saying is our schedule is based on our availability. Your
Well, put
availability
a
is
poll up.
two hours.
Put a poll up.
Your availability is 2 hours behind me now. So
Put a
whatever you
put a
have
poll
going
up.
on, I'm
Put
going
a
to be
poll up, my G.
two
Put a
hours
poll up.
ahead of
Put a
you.
poll up. Put a poll up.
So you want to do all these shows.
Put a poll
You know
up.
I'm no good at 2 in the morning.
Put a poll up.
You got a
Put a
poll in there.
poll up. Put a poll up, my G. Put a poll up. Put a poll up. Put a poll up. Put a poll up, my G. See? All that back and forth, not necessary. Put a poll up, my G. So, what we'll do is put a poll up. Should we end at the end of October? And if we do, should we go every day from now on? From now until the end of October. I think we can pump out 2 videos a day.
We can.
They won't be
Or
pre-recorded.
I got to pump out 2 videos a day.
They won't be pre-recorded. I don't know. I don't like pre-recorded because I feel like there's no interaction. I feel like I'm just watching something, and I click it off and come back to it. But if it's live, I'm gonna be interacting with it. I like live shows.
I'm there.
Yeah, we be in there, but we won't be in there. You just be in the chat. You're not really live. Yeah, we need to cut up some old videos. D wildin', ain't she? I know. I told you she be go. She be off her. She be wild. I told you, D.
Me?
Told you, DB Dale. She be wild. Um, Salesforce architects. I have to look at what that skill set is on Salesforce architects. I haven't done a deep dive and to talk to see what that is. I be honest, Salesforce be just oblivious to me. Not the fact that I don't think they're a good company. I just don't be thinking about Salesforce. And they run everybody back in, just like Oracle. I do. I don't even know what Salesforce architects need.
Oh, you- Yay.
I am with you. I'm looking at their at the Salesforce architect and the platform and so forth. It's again, it sounds like platform engineering to me. Architecture basics, fundamental, Salesforce diagram, framework, roadmap explorer. Yeah, I had to look at it. I had to dive into it and pull it apart and go look at what jobs are out there, what they look for. Um, what's the expectations from people in an interview? They got a career path here, Salesforce architect career path. Median, oh, here you go right here. Median 140K, 16,000 jobs posted in 2021, and job growth in the last 5 years is 111%. It's just on their website. And then to get certified, you could be a Salesforce architect journey. All
And low
right,
salaries too.
it's
They have a whole
specialist.
entry level situation. It's low.
Yes, specialization, domain architect, and technical architect. So look like you do data, platform developer, platform app builder, development life cycle and deployment architect, integration platform developer. Then you got system architect, application architect, and then technical certified architect. And then they break down each one. And you go with the solution architect, Salesforce architect credentials. There you go. There, system architect. It's probably be one I would focus on, and technical architect. System architect focus on off platform systems integration, securing access between systems, as well as managing governance and testing capabilities for deployment and ongoing Salesforce modification requirements. The deployment and lifecycle deployment architect. Yeah, this is more like DevSecOps right here. Um, Platform SRE all rolled into one. That's what it looks like to me. So, yeah, I can get into that just at a quick glance of that. Right, we got to come together.
So disrespectful.
All right. So I hope this helps. And at least give you an overview. I'm gonna focus on platform some more for the next 2 weeks, and then I'll switch over to site reliability engineering, and then we'll do traffic engineers. I guess I should throw DevOps in there, but I think we got enough for DevOps. I think y'all know that platform, those skill sets very well. Um, those are my big three outside of the traffic. But site reliability engineer, platform engineer, and DevSecOps are my big three. That I think get you paid the most. If you ask me, that's if you ask me. But you don't have to ask me. You can go look all that stuff up. Excuse me, yourself. Um, when you want to, you can go to levels, FYI, and you can go to blind as well too, and check them out as to what they offer. So here, I just real quickly, I pulled this up for site reliability engineer. Let me get my screen. And this is it says 2-1, right? This is at ByteDance. They got a base salary of 190. Uh-oh, not sure, huh? All right, ByteDance, they got a base salary of 190. They got stock at 42, target bonus 47, from 0 to 3 years of experience, and it's at 280. 280 total comp. Right. So again, going back to uh how these salaries break down sometimes. Sometimes they could be base, sometimes they could be indeed. Netflix is all base. They're huge on base. So I show you how this could play out with something like with that IBA situation, where you could be 190 base and multiply that by 0.25, gives you 47,500 plus the 190. So it puts you in about 237. And you're like, well, what are you talking about this 0.25? Well, it goes back to what I was talking about before. You can make 190,000, but the employer puts in 25% of your salary into your 401k automatically. Plus you get your base of the 190. So you can be at 237,500. Plus you get to contribute up to 66,000 between you and the employer. So 66,000 minus your 40, we'll say 48,000 to be there. So you're putting roughly in about 18 more thousand. And that increases over time. Your PTO, all of that stuff, profit sharing, what you don't use, you get paid out. So you could look at a job like that and a job like this in your first 3 years, and they be on par with each other. Sometimes you don't have to go to the big fame companies in order to get that, right? So one last thing, D, I promise. I was playing around with this earlier. All right, savings goal calculator, right? So some of you may want to hit 2 million minus 10 for your retirement. And let's say you got 100,000 saved up right now, right? Let's say you got 25 years of growth, and let's say you're just gonna do an average of 8. They don't give me a variance or up and down, but let's go ahead and calculate. So if you wanted to have 2 million by the time you retire, you would need to put away $1,500 a month. So I just wanted to show you this calculator because a lot of you don't really have an idea of what that could financially look like, right? So here's how you can set that up for 25 years of growth. at 1,500 a month, and you'll have 2 million saved up on average. It could probably be higher. It could possibly be higher, but that just gives you an idea of what it could be. What it could be. All right. And you say, well, how do I get to $1,500 a month in saving a month? Well, you ain't making 40,000. You're not making 40,000. You could probably do this on a 150 170 salary. You could probably do it cheaper than that, but I'm thinking about the cost of living, kids, wife,
living.
husband, yeah, just living. So now imagine two people putting in $1,500 a month. You mean divided up over two people? That's 700 a month that each person is putting in. That's doable in a situation. So imagine you had a wife or a partner or a husband. You putting in uh, 1,500 over here, 1,500 over there, and maybe together y'all. And then when I say that, that's your 401k and her 401k, and then maybe y'all got a plan over here where y'all both putting in 700 over here. So now y'all got three plans, right? You can easily make that work, right? So working backwards, what's your goal, and how can you plan it out over the next couple of years? Like I said, so even going back to the other calculator, the compound interest calculator, let's say you got 66,000 going in, as your initial investment. Your monthly contributions, like I think I said, was like oh no, let's just say your monthly contributions is 3,000, and you do that over 25 years, and we're gonna say 8. We're gonna do a variance up and down. Let's calculate that. So you could be at 3 million in 25 years at 3,000 a month if your first initial investment is 66,000. Now, again, this is why I always go back to saying, imagine yourself making a steady 200,000 for 10 years, right? I didn't compound the growth or nothing like that. You grossed 2 million. But how can you make a million of that 2 million work for you in the market? How can you make a million of that work for you in the market? You could take out for taxes, but again, you doing pre-tax. So I'm just showing you some numbers. I'm not telling you that you can't go start a business. Some people are going to start a business, and some people are going to be W-2 millionaires, 401k millionaires,
And it's okay.
IRA millionaires. And guess what? No one cares how you made your million. They don't say, "Oh, you're an IRA millionaire. I can't talk to you." No, that's not what people say. All right, right. So again, I'm just pointing out the three jobs: site reliability engineering, DevSecOps, platform engineering, that I know make you money. Now there are other ways to make money too. On top of that, I talked about it last week, by writing articles on the side, where you may write for a company, and it may be you may make 5,000 a month, you may make 650 a month, you may make 2,000 a month for writing an article. Right? I'm done, D. I promise. I'm done.
You sure? You've been gone for a couple of days. Anything else on your chest you got to get out?
Mm-mm,
Nothing?
mm-mm. So 22 votes, 86%. All right. We'll stick with Mondays. Stick with Mondays. All right, y'all. Y'all be safe. I do have the energy to continue. Like I could, I could do I could do a 10-hour stream. I could put
No,
together.
she can't. She need to go to bed.
Yeah, I could do a whole 10-hour stream.
She need to go to bed.
You're
She
not the
been up
boss of me.
since 3 a.m. She needs to go to bed.
You're not the boss of me.
But I am.
No.
I'm the boss of you. You need to get some rest.
Rest is overrated.
You need some.
I put yes on security Mondays. I boosted it up to 90%.
I don't care. I don't care.
Mm. Uh,
She needs some rest. She's been gone all weekend. I got in 12 o'clock last night. Then I had to turn around and take her to the airport. She's been up all day. She needs some rest. I got some emails and stuff I got to read, some bills to pay, but she needs to go to bed. Nip, nip, need a nap now. It's time.
Yeah.
Yeah, nip, nip, need a nap now. So
Yeah.
just because she has the energy don't mean she needs to use it.
Whatever. All right. Y'all be safe. Don't let the haters get in your way. Put your sun blockers on or put your hater blockers on because they out there.
You guys have a good night.
All right.